bail out the failing institutions, provide fiscal stimulus, monetary stimulus. So it seems like the market corrects itself. But it's actually the intervention of the authorities that saves the market.
You say it's a huge crisis, and yet, for example, just the other day, the U.S. Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson said he thinks the worst may be over. And
I think that, in fact, the acute phase, the liquidity squeeze has been brought under the control of the authorities, and that's their job. And it took them longer, frankly. I thought it would be done sooner. It has really started since August until now. It's a very, very long time. It is now being brought under control. But the fallout in the real economy is only just beginning to make itself felt.
Can this kind of situation be prevented in the future?
I believe it can. The regulators have failed to regulate, and they really have to. They left it to the market. That was this market fundamentalist philosophy, that markets will take care of themselves. In actual fact, you have to regulate not only the money supply, but you also have to regulate credit conditions, because sometimes you have euphoria, willingness to lend, and then you have panic and contraction. And you have to control the extension of credit while the bubble is growing. And you need for that new instruments. You have, in fact, not new instruments, because the instruments already exist. Minimum reserve requirements, margin requirements. But you must vary those. You have to use them, and you have to vary them depending on market conditions.
How confident are you, just quickly, that the kind of regulation that's needed is going to be put in place?
Not at all. I hope that people will learn from this and learn, as they have in the past, a lesson and correct their past mistakes.
People are still asking whether it was fair for the Federal Reserve to bail out or to throw a safety net under Bear Stearns. Any doubt in your mind that was...
No, absolutely the necessary thing, and it is their job to do it. But it is also their job to prevent bubbles from developing, and they have not accepted that responsibility. Greenspan said explicitly that asset bubbles is not our business, and in fact it ought to be the business of the Federal Reserve.
In other words, they should have seen this. They should have done something much sooner. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
People often say, well, George Soros does very well because he bets against what everybody else is assuming is going to happen. Have you done well under these current economic circumstances?
I did well last year. This year, I'm slightly underwater. I'm actually managed to offset the people to whom I give money to manage by my taking those positions, but we're slightly on the losing end. And I'm pretty satisfied with that, because we are currently in a state of wealth destruction. So if you can preserve your wealth in those conditions, you're doing very well.
You follow international markets, you follow commodities very closely. A lot of worry, concern right now about the price of crude oil. The price has shot up. Some say it could go to $200 a barrel. How concerned are you?
I think that is also a bubble. While we have, the housing bubble is being deflated, the oil bubble is being inflated right now, and I think it's just a matter of time before that bubble will burst. There will have to be a correction, although you'll never go back to where you were, because you've got problems with finding new oil, and also you have problems with the dollar.
One of the things you write about in your book is you say we are at the end of an era. You say when this current crisis ends, things are going to be different. When it does end, will the United States still be the world's economic superpower?
I'm very hopeful that the United States will be the leader, both politically and economically, but it is not the undisputed supreme power that it used to be, and it has got to learn to lead international cooperation instead of imposing rules on others, as the Washington Consensus did, without observing those rules ourselves, which is what we did when we developed a current account deficit that amounted to more than 6% of our gross national product.
And are you confident that that kind of cooperation will...
I think the world will need it. Right now, we are in a period of heightened uncertainty. Almost anything can happen, but I hope that a new order will emerge with the United States playing a leadership role, but not. I don't think it will be able to be the sole economic or political superpower that it was.
George Soros, his new book, his latest book, The New Paradigm for Financial Markets. Thank you. It's very good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.